So after a bit of an absence, I am back again to do more Linux videos and other videos on anything I want really. But today will be a Linux related video about my favourite terminal based music player, let's say, or TUI music player technically, called Cmus. And now I know all the cool kids use NCMPCPP, which is the most horrific acronym or name in the world. That is a skin, let's say, or a music player that works with MPD or whatever. And I will go into that and why I don't use that and why I use Cmus. It doesn't matter really, but I will go into it because I guess, you know, Luke Smith made NCMPCPP quite popular, but there was a specific reason, and there's a specific reason why I don't really use it. So it doesn't really matter, but I'll go into that. So I guess let's just get into it and how I use Cmus, the music player, and some cool things with it that you might want to play with. Might be good for you. So let's have a look at the screen. So first of all, I'm on the Arch Linux wiki, of course, and we're looking at NCMPCCPP. Hopefully we're not going to go into this too much. Okay, so this music player runs off MPD client, and the important thing with MPD, it's like a server, okay? And the reason somebody like Luke Smith used it, he had his music across many devices, let's say television, I believe, and all kinds of things. And using MPD effectively gives you a server that you can access from anywhere. I think there is technically a way you can do this with Cmus, but it's not really designed for that. Let's see if I go on MPD. Yeah, Music Player Daemon is a server client architecture. So I hope that makes sense. Now, that music player, that's what I'm just going to, that music player is great. I've used it in the past. I like it. However, I don't actually have my Linux or my Linux computer running this server across devices. I don't play music through the TV or whatever, or even through my phone, so not for me. It might be for you. Look at the documentation, set it up. It's not really that difficult. Luke Smith's done a video on this as well, I think, and whatever. Okay, so I'm going to move away from that. Is why I'm not one of the cool kids who use that. I use Cmus, which is much the same. It's terminal based, like NCMPCP, whatever. That music player, but it doesn't have necessarily the server client, but I just like it. I used it and I like it, and I'll be honest, arbitrary as it is, I don't really want a server in the background I'm not using, but there is something I do with Cmus that effectively makes it operate in the background if I want it to. So we're going to look at that as well. Okay. So let's just sort of get into this. So yeah, it's a small, fast, powerful music console music player that supports audio formats. Okay. So how would you install it? So obviously, if you're on Arch, you do sudo pacman-syu to update your repository first, and then -s to do Cmus. I'm not going to reinstall it, of course. There's nothing else you really need with that, so that will do it. Tiny package, fantastic. So when you run Cmus, you just run it like this. I'm zoom back out a bit. Okay. Now it's already given you a hint here how to use this. So the first thing is you want to add music. You want to set a directory. So it's easier just to set a main directory where you add the music. And you can update this, of course, as you add music. So let's go into this. So actually, maybe I'll make it a bit bigger. So if you do bottom left even, maybe I'll put on screen key. Let's put on screen key so you can see certain things that I'll be doing. Okay, so if you look at the bottom left, you put in a colon, okay, and then you do add space, and then put in your directory. So home obviously is going to be where you should be keeping your music, in where your username is, and then I'm actually going to put downloads here and backups. The reason is I want to show you something really impressive about Cmus, but I don't actually have, this is my testing laptop, so I don't actually have music on here, but it doesn't matter. you would probably have it in music, okay, in your normal sense, wherever you keep your music. Okay, so right, so these are all of my backups, not all of them, but backups of my videos, okay? And you might notice these are in, if I zoom out, you can see WEBM, okay, WebM. And the important thing is those are movies, or those are videos, they're not music, but it will play it. So if you notice I hit enter, that loaded it in this library view, okay? So if I just hit enter, won't be able to hear it very well, but it's actually playing. Sounds quite low. Almost a whisper. Anyway, don't worry about that. But it is playing, I promise, okay? No, I don't want to quit. Okay, right, so that's just the first point. It will basically play anything, okay? Obviously, you probably got MP3s, you might have FLAC, is it? And different audio formats. It will basically play anything. It's fantastic. And it's instant. It runs so fast. It's written in C. It's fantastic. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to, let's do man Cmus, okay? So this is the man page. So if I go back to the Arch Wiki, there might be certain things you need to do. So I had no problem setting it up with ALSA, but you might need to install this package. If you haven't already got it, may have already got it. And then it's got some usage, configuration. There's a remote control. We will cover the remote control, but there's something you can do there. And some other things. Okay. Not a lot there, but it basically works. Okay, so let's go into our man page, okay, and let's have a look at some of the things we can do. Okay, so you've got some other stuff here. You can put it on like a socket and all this kind of stuff. Right, so the views. Okay, there's 7 views in Cmus. So the first view we are in is the library view. So this is like the main, this is your whole music library, okay? Okay, hit 2. That's your sorted library, okay? So if I go back into this, sorted library view displays the same contents as view 1, but as a simple list, okay? Playlist view, so displays the editable playlist with optional sorting. Okay, so we're going to get into that. So if I hit 3, I'm going to show you how to create a playlist, because this is probably something you're going to do. Now you can import playlists, you can set a playlist folder. I'm not necessarily going to get into that because, again, just look that up. It doesn't really matter. You can do it from here. Just find where the playlists are. You know, this video is going to be very, very long. I'm leading you to the water. You're going to have to drink from it. So, same again. If you look at the bottom left, I've put a colon. I'm going to do pl-create, okay? And I'm just going to call this, say, my starred playlist, okay? And as you see, you've got your default playlist there and your starred. Right. Now, if I hit space, that's going to highlight the starred playlist. Now, I want to add a couple of my tracks, let's say, to the starred playlist. So I'm going to go back to the library view by hitting 2. And I'm going to just pick, let's say, this one here. I'm going to hit Y. Now you notice there's a theme here. There's something like Vim keys in this. So Y is like yank. So if I go back to number 3, you can see that playlist now has that track, let's say, in that. So if I go back here, let's go down, take that one, Y, and I go back into playlist view, as you can see. And if you notice, I tab to get into each field or column, whatever you want to call it. So this is a bit louder, interestingly. Okay, so how do you pause and so let's calm ourselves down here. Let's actually not get too much into that. I'll go over the buttons in a minute, let's say, or the keys. Let's actually have a look at some more lists. So playlist view, play queue view. So if I go back and I hit 4,
on my channel. Well, I don't know if you are a subscriber.
you can queue up tracks. Okay, we'll look at how you can do that in the Cmus options in a minute. You've got a browser displays the directory browser. Okay, so if you want to see what directories, and you can add music on the file system in that way. So let's have a look. So 5, okay, there you go. You've got a settings view as well, filters view, list user defined. So you can set filters if that's your thing. So there you go, 90s, classical, whatever, certain types, OGG or MP3. And is that it? Oh yeah, 7. So key bindings. If you notice here, you've got your key bindings, which I think you can edit from here. Okay, but we're going to look at the main ones in a moment. Okay, so I'm just going to go back. Let's go back here. So how do you delete a playlist? So I believe it's PL delete. Let's just do that, and then let's call starred. Couldn't find. Okay, I'll look at that again in a minute. Okay, so we looked at the settings view, and then obviously you've got the command line. Now I've covered adding files. You can change the plugin. You can start playing. You can clear the current view, library playlist. Okay. You've got search mode. So let's do search for Google. And as you can see, it's highlighted. Is it highlighted in white? Let's try something. Let's do Arch. As you can see, it's highlighted Arch with the blue line. And if I hit enter, I can do N for next, and all the things with Arch in the title will be highlighted. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Playlist editing. Okay, this is sort of what we want to look at. So as you saw, I created a playlist in the command line, and you can copy tracks between views. So I did Y to yank the copy tracks, and you can copy tracks to the library, to a playlist with Y, A for library, sorry. E, you can append tracks to the play queue, so that's what we're sort of looking at briefly. So if I do E, and I go into, there you go, play queue, you can make your own queued playlist if you like, or queue your own tracks from your library. Hope that makes sense. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. And then you can prepend tracks to the play queue with capital E. You can move tracks, pressing P marks the track for position immediate. Okay, fine. Removing tracks, so D to delete or remove, capital D. So let's do that. So if I do capital D, delete. And you can do this, of course, on, if I go back into here, let's do D, 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 D. Okay, pretty simple. And if I want to add everything, I can just do it like this. And then it'll just update. Now, if you I will tell you one thing. If you remove a track from, let's have a look. So if I go, let's find somewhere I can use. Okay, so if I go into CD downloads and where do I want? Backups. Okay. Right, so let's say I want to remove peropsis. So I'm going to do RM. Okay, now I've deleted that. Okay, now if I go into, where am I going? So if I go into here, you can still see peropsis track is still in my library. So it hasn't updated the library. So if I hit enter, of course, it's saying the file doesn't exist. So what we need to do, we need to do update cache, okay, because it's updating the cache. As you can see, that's now updated the library as per that destination, that folder, if you like. Okay, it's reread the what I've used as the folder for the library. Hope that makes sense. Okay, it's it's updated, it's cached your, for speed, it's cached your folder or your directory, but now we need to update it. Okay, so that's removed that. Hope that makes sense. Right. So what else? What else have we got here? So okay, so status line. Okay, so you can do all sorts of things with a status line, but what we want to do, does it tell us? Does it tell us that? Shuffle, repeat. Oh. Let's have a look. So, well, I think we should be able to do this from the key bindings, to be honest. So let's have a look. So you've got all these here. So let's actually look first at playback. Okay, so if I go into, let's go into here, right? So playback. So you can enter.
Okay, I just want to say 30.
Okay, that will start a track. C will pause it. C will play it. B will go to the next one. Okay.
Well, I don't know if you are a subscriber.
Z will go to the previous one, or if you're already through a track, it will play the beginning of that track, but press Z again and it'll go. Okay. Hope that makes sense. So Z player preview, and then V player stop, so you can just stop the whole thing. Player play is like the enter. So I hope that makes sense. Pretty simple. So I mean, C is player pause, but it's play as well. So you can go to capital B next to album. You can set the volume up and down in the player itself. You can seek, so again, Vim keys. So if I'm like playing this, and I use H, L, whatever. So yeah, you can seek 5 seconds. I'm sure you can change that, whatever. You've got mouse clicks. I'm not doing mouse clicks, as you know. Right, so common toggles. Right, this is one of the things I want to look at. So common toggles, M for treble A mode, which I can't remember what that does. C for continue, play library, sorted, repeat. So you can play around with these. Obviously, I quite like the repeat. Oh yeah, I remember what continue does. Okay, so if you've got a long list of music, okay, and you have C, so I've turned C off, but if I put capital C, if you look at the bottom right, that's effectively going to follow down. It's going to follow down, should follow down the list where it is, whatever. On the screen, it will follow the line, so you'll see the line when it updates. Does that make sense? So if I don't have that on, the screen will stay static, but the music playing won't show up on the screen. So for example, if it's probably not enough on here, this is the thing, it's not actually enough on. So if I had something down here playing, okay, you wouldn't be able to see it unless you had follow. If it updated, it will follow the screen where it's playing. That's basically it. I hope I've explained that well. I don't know. This is why you shouldn't take too much time off making videos, but it's whatever. So you've got shuffle. Oh, it's got F for follow. So what's C? Continue. Whatever. Whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So F for follow. There you go. So just put it all on. Why not? And then shuffle S. So as you can see, if I hit play, it will just play random tracks. Okay. As you can see, it is following now the screen. Okay. What else? What else we got? Show remaining time. Okay. And then if you want to quit, you can do it in the command line, or if you just hit Q, do you want to quit Cmus? Y for yes. Okay. And if I do Cmus, it loads back up. Fine. Okay. Anything else? So you've got all these different things. You can look at, you know, all this different stuff. I'm just going to go down, file browser, some more stuff about the library. Anything else? So as I showed you, I did PL create. Here we go. PL delete, and then the name, delete a place with a given name. Okay, I don't know, it didn't quite go as I wanted, did it? Before. So let's do PL delete, and then start. There you go. It's worked. Maybe it's because I was playing music on that originally. Okay, so you know how to do that. You can import and export. You can rename a playlist. Play next. Okay, so you can do these commands in the thing. Why you'd bother, I don't know. But what we want is something called Cmus Remote. So I think there's nothing really else in here. So I'm not too fussed about stuff. You can play, if you want to customize the color of your thing, you can do all this. You can set up whatever you want. Okay. I don't think there's anything else that I need. Okay. So if you look at the bottom here, you've got Cmus tutorial and Cmus remote. The tutorial is just really a basic thing just to get you started, or you could just watch this video or whatever you want to do. So now I'm going to do man Cmus remote. Okay. Now this is where I would suggest using something like Screen or Tmux to effectively run your Cmus in the background, but let's actually just do it like this. So I'll show you how I do the Cmus with Screen in a minute. Very simple. So if I go back into here, okay, now nothing is playing at the moment, of course. Now if I do, if I can find it, right, so if I run, where's, oh, here we go. What am I doing? What are you doing? Okay, so here's the options. Okay, so the obvious ones is playing, pausing, whatever. Okay, so if I do, so obviously you've got to have Cmus running. So if I do Cmus remote -p, as you look at the top, it's now playing that video. Okay, so like it says, it's a remote control in your terminal. Okay. And then you can pause with you, pause, playback, stop. So let's do, I don't know, Cmus remote. Is it N for next? So there you go, it's gone to the next. And obviously it's following the rules we've set for follow and shuffle. Oh yeah, you can have repeat. Is that repeat? There you go. R to repeat a track. So if you have a playlist, it will just go back to the beginning of the playlist. Does that make sense? Well, if it's on shuffle, it'll just go round and round, but whatever. Okay, what we got, and then you can set, you know, things like repeat, previous. Okay, so you can play around this. You can set the volume, seek. Great, great. Okay, and you can do the status as well. So, so if you do Cmus remote and then status, okay, let's try Cmus remote -q. I think that's like status. So it tells you what's playing. Okay. And there's some examples here. You can do various things. Great. So I'll show you how I use it. So now I did have it more elaborate in the past, but unfortunately Screen had an update some months ago that basically broke my Cmus configuration with my Screen configuration with Cmus, let's say. And so I've got lots of commented stuff out. You can look at the code, you know, my TTYSH, but I've got some basic things here that I'm just not for. I'll be honest, I don't really specifically detach and attach Screen for much else. So I've just kept it simple these days. As you can see, I'd name stuff and I Q and R and whatever. But I had some issues with my auto start stuff with Screen and Cmus together, whatever. So let's just have a simple one. You can have it as complicated as you want. I'm just going to pause this. Right, so here is what I would do. Now you can again script this out in your bash RC or whatever. So I don't know, bash RC, and you could have, you know, when it starts up, or I'm going to turn off Screen key now. That's annoying. You could have, let's just do it. You could have something like Screen Cmus, okay, and that would just start up Cmus, and then you could pick a piece of music or whatever, or you could, you know, create a little, look at my previous videos, a little, what would you call it, a case statement that just asks, do you want your computer to start up, and it asks you, do you want to run Cmus? Because I don't always want it running in the background. I just want my system resources. I'm not going to get into the whole system resources debate. How long is this video? Well, this has gone way too long. Anyway, so let's just wrap this up. Okay, so, and the great thing is with Screen, you can just attach it. Okay, let's just do this. Right, so if I do Screen Cmus, okay, screen's terminating. Why is that? Screen dash R. Oh, it's because I've already got it running. Okay, obviously don't have it running first. Let's just exit this. Okay, if I do Screen Cmus, now that's opened up Screen in Cmus in Screen. So if I do Control AD, now you can look at how I do my whatever, my screen setup. I'm not going to put screen key on that. I just did Control AD. That's my setup. Look at my screen video on that. So, but if I did Screen dash R, it just loads up screen, loads up Cmus when I want it on screen. And the point is, so I can now do. I don't have to have Cmus literally showing up on the screen. I can do things like what is it? Cmus remote status. Note Cmus remote dash Q. As you can see, is it playing? It's definitely playing because I can hear it. So status playing. So again, this is all running on screen in the background, okay? And I can do, let's do dash P to pause. And then if I did Q again, as you can see, no, what is pause? Okay, P is not pause, it's play, U. Okay. Dash U. And I did dash Q. As you see, it's now paused. So again, and if I want to see my literal Cmus player, there you go, I can just do Screen dash R. Okay, fantastic. So there's plenty of things to play around there. That's quite a long video. I was surprised by that, really. I'm going to leave it there. You can play with it to your heart's content if that's what you want to do, but this video would have gone on forever, but that's pretty good coverage, I think. So anyway, we'll leave it there. So not to do with the fake YouTube, you can like, comment, subscribe, and I want to give special thanks to my Patreons. I'd like to see more of you guys on my Patreon, but my current Patreons are Sean and HDX18 Nerd and Soul. So thank you guys for supporting me. And anyway, I think we'll leave it there, and I'll see you in the next one.